Good evening. Welcome to the State of Business on our television with me, Kavishka Pereira. Let's take a look at today's headlines. No drugs seized while being transported out of the country, says Chief of Defence Staff. Marini de Oliveira among top 10 IWOC awardees. News in detail. Speaking at an event held today to brief the media on the Triforce's contribution to combat illegal drug smuggling, the Chief of Defence Staff, Admiral Ravindra Vijay Gunawardena, expressed the following on Sri Lanka's status as a transshipment hub for drugs.
But what I am saying is, we have still not found anything going from here to another country. But we were suspected as a transit hub because we are a transshipment hub for most of the containers. And we are a place where that we have a fishing fleet which goes everywhere in the Indian Ocean. They are getting caught in Seychelles, in Diego Garcia, in Maldives, in India. Our boats are getting caught by doing illegal fishing. So we have the capability. But still, on the ground, we have not found anything going from Sri Lanka to another country.
Also speaking at the event, the commander of the Army, Lieutenant General Mahesh Senanayake, expressed the following on the special task force to be formed to eradicate the drug menace.
As far as the Army is concerned, being the largest force on the ground, that doesn't mean that each and every soldier should be utilized for this particular task. What we have done is we have identified capable, committed officers and soldiers and prepared and organized as of now to form a task force in time to come. That doesn't mean that we are not on the ground as it yet, but definitely some training is being taking place. Simplest thing is, in the context of training, they should be able to identify it. There are so many types of drugs available in the country. If the soldiers do not understand what it is and if they cannot identify, there is no use having a task force. So that training has been already been started within the Army. And since it is going to be a legal issue, we are expecting legal coverage and authority will be given to us in time to come. Then we are working in close hands with our own legal directorate to identify and get what exactly the legal authority we should have. It is not that each and every soldier on the ground should be given the same authority to act. Of course, they will be acting in different ways. Otherwise, what happens, it will go beyond control. If about 200,000 soldiers on street trying to apprehend people on the street on the same day, there is going to be another major social issue in this country. So we have different timelines and plan on that. Then in regards to drugs prevention, yes, with the help of the task force which is organized by His Excellency the President and the Presidential Secretariat, we have attached more than 100 plus troops to work as leaders on those groups. Then under Ratana Swami Dhanvansi also, I have given more than 100 people to lead those teams that they have arranged with the volunteers and the volunteer organizations in the villages and other areas.
In addition, the commander of the Navy, Vice Admiral Pial de Silva, expressed the following on drug awareness programs being done by the Sri Lanka Navy.
Not only eradication, we have started the awareness program at grassroots level. For an example, now Navy covers the areas of Colombo district, Galle district, Mathura district, Anuradhapura, Puttalam and Trincomalee. So far, since 2018, in Colombo district, we have conducted 315 awareness program. If you take Anuradhapura as an example, because we believe that most of the drug addicts are from that area, because they take ganja mostly. There we have conducted 517 awareness program. So that means we are addressing the root cause. As I mentioned in Sinhala, if there is no demand, there can't be any supply. So what we are trying to curb here is the demand. So that's why I request from the parents, the loved ones, to prevent anyone, any family member taking drugs, because this is a serious issue.
Sri Lanka's Marini de Oliveira was among the 10 extraordinary women from around the world featured at the annual International Women of Courage Awards at the U.S. Department of State by U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo yesterday. Now in its 13th year, the Secretary of State's IWOC Award recognizes women around the globe who have demonstrated exceptional courage and leadership in advocating for peace, justice, human rights, gender equality and women's empowerment, often at great personal risk and sacrifice. Marini De Oliveira, who champions the causes of women and child victims of crime, promotes alternative care for children trapped in orphanages and innovative use of visual arts and street theatre to promote legal literacy, is the former chairperson of the National Child Protection Authority and a member of the Steering Committee on the Rehabilitation of Child Soldiers, the Prisons Reforms Committee and the National Committee on Women. Charge d'Affaires of the Sri Lankan Embassy, Washington DC, Sarath Dissanayake, participated in the felicitation ceremony together with members of the diplomatic corps. The Ministry of Transport and Civil Aviation today launched a train compartment service designated for women. The women-only compartments was launched from today in line with the World Women's Day and has been implemented as a measure to prevent the sexual harassment and hardship endured by women using public transport. According to the ministry, the first stage of women-only compartments will be included in office trains and will be expanded to other trains in the future. The first ever local women-only compartments were launched in several Colombo-bound trains departing from Mihirigama at 6:30 am, Rambukana at 5:57 am, Mahava at 4:45 am, as well as in the Mount Lavinia bound train leaving from Putlam at 4:30 am, Samudra Devi train and another train departing from Mathura at 5 am this morning. At a press conference held yesterday regarding the budget proposal for the year 2019, Minister of Finance Mangala Samaravira expressed the following on the scholarship program introduced by the budget proposal for students who obtain Highland rankings in GCE advanced level examinations.
අනේ නිසා තමයි අපි විශේෂ අරමුදලක් අපි වහාම පටන් ගන්නවා මේ මුදල් අමාත්‍යාංශයේ යටතේ. ඒ අරමුදලට අපි කියන්නේ C අරමුදල කියලා SEE කියන්නේ Scholarship for Educational Excellence. අධ්‍යාපනික විශිෂ්ටත්වය සඳහා වූ අරමුදල. මේ අරමුදලෙන් අපි ආරම්භක පියවර හැටියට 2019 අගෝස්තු මාසයේ උසස් පෙළ විභාගයට මුහුණ දෙන ඒ දරුවන්ගෙන් ලංකාවේ හොඳම ප්‍රතිඵල ප්‍රධාන ධාරාවන් පහක් තියෙනවා. ඒ ප්‍රධාන ධාරාවල් පහක් තියෙනවා. ඒ පහෙන් physical science, biological science, technology, commerce and arts. මෙන්න මේ පහෙන් පළවෙනියා බවට පත් වෙන ඒ ශිෂ්‍යයා හෝ ශිෂ්‍යාව අපි මෙම ශිෂ්‍යත්වයේ සඳහා තෝරගන්නවා. ඊට අමතරව අපි තවත් 9ක් තෝරගන්නවා මේ අවුරුද්දේ. හැම පළාතෙම පළවෙනියා වෙන ළමයටත් ශිෂ්‍යත්වයක් දෙනවා. ඒ ලබා දෙන්නේ අපි දැන්ටමත් ඒ මූලික සාකච්ඡා ආරම්භ කරලා තියෙනවා. මේක සම්පූර්ණ වියදම. ඒ අවුරුදු ගාන ඒ අය අධ්‍යාපනය ලබා දීමේ සම්පූර්ණ වියදම අපි දරනවා. ඒ අය ලෝකයේ තියෙන හොඳම ඉස්තරම්ම විශිෂ්ටම විශ්වවිද්‍යාලවලට අපි ආවා. විශේෂයෙන්ම ඔක්ස්ෆර්ඩ්, කේම්බ්‍රිජ්, හාවර්ඩ්, MIT වැනි විශ්වවිද්‍යාල සමග අපි පළවෙනි බැච් එක යැවීම ගැන දැන් මූලික සාකච්ඡා ආරම්භ කරලා තියෙනවා.
Stadium for more news after this short commercial break. Welcome back. At a press conference held yesterday, the Vehicle Importers Association of Sri Lanka voiced its concern about the increase in taxes imposed by the budget and warned it would be detrimental to the industry. Speaking at the event, Secretary of the Vehicle Importers Association of Sri Lanka, Arosha Rodrigo, expressed the following on the newly imposed luxury tax.
So now, this time, if you just look at the budget, now people are only talking about this duty increase in the actual import duty, but they have introduced this new tax called the luxury tax. Now, this is not the normal luxury tax we used to pay year on year for 6 or 7 years. It used to be about 160,000 for a petrol vehicle, and every year you had to pay less and less. So it started off with 160,000 at the point of registration, and then the next year you'll probably end up paying 140,000. So this, we are not talking about that tax. That tax is still there, but apart from that, they have introduced this new concept called the luxury tax, which is payable at the customs basically. So now the new tax is the import duty plus this luxury tax. So this is the major hit to this industry basically, because if you just look at the other figures, the increase is not extremely significant, whereas over here some of the cars are getting hit by a few millions. So even a very common vehicle like a 1000cc Honda Civic is going to get increased by about 1.2 million. And roughly, I mean, this is just estimated figures. And just when you go to the higher end, the increase is about around the 18 million figure. So that is the big difference here from last year's budget.
Arosha Rodrigo also elaborated upon the increase in the value of vehicles due to the new luxury tax.
Now, if you just take the 2019 budget, now obviously the tax is based on the engine capacity, and if you just take the 650cc engine capacity, which is something like a Suzuki Swift or as a Suzuki Wagon-R, now in the petrol category, there's an increase of about 150,000 rupees. And then if you just take the petrol category, which is from 650cc to 1000cc, say something like a Toyota Vitz, that has increased by about 250,000 rupees. And then if you take the below 1300cc category, something like a Toyota CHR, that has increased by about 585,000 rupees. And the other category, which is 1300 to 1500cc category, which is something like a Toyota Premio or Allion, which has increased by about 675,000 rupees. And at the same time, if you look at the hybrid increase, the 650cc category, for instance, a Suzuki Wagon-R hybrid has increased by about 250,000. And from 650cc to 1000cc, there's another increase of about 250,000. And something like from the 1000cc category to the 1300cc category, there's a 390,000 increase. And from 1300 to 1500, which is something like a Honda Vezel or a Toyota Axio, has increased by about 525,000. And from the 1800cc category to 2-liter category, say Nissan X-Trail or a Land Rover, Range Rover, has increased by about 1.4 million. Now, if you just break it down, I'll just mark some, like commonly imported vehicles. An Alto has increased by about 150,000, and then a Toyota Vitz by about 250,000, Honda Vezel, Toyota Axio by about 525,000, and then the CHR about 540,000, and Premio Allion by about 675,000.
The High Commission of Sri Lanka in Singapore, in a bid to further promote employment opportunities for Sri Lankans in Singapore, organized a meeting between the apex associations of employment agencies of Sri Lanka and Maldives, namely Association of Licensed Foreign Employment Agencies of Sri Lanka and Association of Employment Agencies of Singapore, which are represented by over 950 and 330 employment agencies respectively. The meeting held on 6th March 2019 was chaired by Acting High Commissioner OL Amir Ajwad and attended by ALA Hazam, President of ALFEA, K. J. Prema, Chairperson of AEAS, L.Y. Pathirana, Councillor and officials of the Foreign Employment and Labour Welfare Division of the High Commission. Highlighting the potential exists in a range of sectors such as caregiver healthcare, hospitality and IT sectors for promotion of employment in Singapore, the Acting High Commissioner urged the two associations to work with each other more closely in order to explore new areas of collaboration. The meeting resulted in the two associations agreeing to enter into a memorandum of understanding to develop a mechanism that facilitates greater engagement of their members in promoting employment for Sri Lankans in identified sectors in Singapore. Speaking exclusively to Art Television, Aruna Veerakon, the chairman of the Seeds and Planting Materials Association, expressed the following on the use of insecticides in cultivation grounds of Sri Lanka.
One thing is these plants are very big, so even for the insects it's very attractive, right? So diseases are many in the field. The consumers don't know about it, but the farmers and us whom we are closely in contact with, the farmers, we know the amount of pressure the farmer has to go through to earn a livelihood, right? So certain amount of application of chemicals, whether it's a hybrid seed or normal seed, you have to apply. Organic is a whole new ball game, and very few people can really afford to do that and even consume. So now the trend is minimize the use of insecticide, and now what we have is very much more less toxic chemicals that the farmers have, which they could use. And also there is something called Good Agricultural Practices, a program that is being sort of promoted by the Department of Agriculture, which will eventually, teach the farmer to go easy on the insecticide.
Aruna Veerakon also elaborated upon the Vasa Visa rumour that harmed the image of Sri Lankan farmers.
Yes, it did, and it really harmed the farmer because it's a scare story basically. There would have been little instances of farmers maybe misusing or overusing, but that was not the norm, right? Because farmers are very responsible because they have to keep growing to live. And why should they kill their own consumer? Yeah, they won't do that. It was some people who really, I don't want to go into names, who thought that this could be, utilized as some kind media also picks up such stories. And thankfully now it has died down and people would have realized that you need to eat and we have to consume vegetables to stay healthy. And we don't use chemicals to that degree. I think the people in the sector who are really involved in the sector, the agriculturists, the business people like us, input suppliers and the department officials, the hierarchy, they all know that this was just a story. And now thankfully it is dying down and farmers would be able to make some kind of good living again.
Stay tuned for stock updates after this short commercial break. Welcome back. Trading at the Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today. The All-Share Price Index dropped 30.10 points to close at 5,722.25, and the S&P SL 20 dropped 23.09 points to close at 2,859.59. The turnover was 2 billion rupees and 35.6 million shares were traded. Next up is Forex rates. Well, that's a wrap of the bulletin for the day. Signing off with a promise for tomorrow with Biz Roundup at 7 p.m. Thank you and good night.